Welcome back to the Flourishing Student Podcast. In the first episode, we talked about Mr. John's experience on campus, being a student, how he came into the tertiary institution, how he was intentional and did not allow, of course, the humble background to affect him. Now we are going deeper into some of the challenges, some of the opportunities that he took advantage of, some of the lessons that he learned, and how students out there should imbibe some of these challenges, imbibe some of these opportunities, go after these opportunities. So yes, my first question to you would be, what were your biggest challenges as a student?
Challenges. So if I do a little bit of reflection, right? Number one would be finance.
Okay.
Right. Because I had to,
fend for yourself.
I had to fend for myself to a large extent at the initial period of getting into the university, right? So because of some need that I had to meet at home, right? In fact, I can recall clearly now that I was going to take my ICANN
exams.
What's it called?
Certification.
Yes, certification. But the registration, I was supposed to register. My friend and I, and he went ahead. So, but I had to take the money to support my mom at home, right, for some things, right? So, I had a lot of similar episodes, right, where I needed to attend to some needs on campus. But when I saw a need at home, I had to fend for that. But it was it was not just done blindly. For me, I was a child of God, so I was being directed to make some of those decisions. So, but of course, it led to some inconvenience. It led to some times when I didn't have some things, to meet my own needs on campus. But I was industrious, and I think God really came through for me by opening up opportunities, financial opportunities, where I had several scholarships, and at some point, I also even used one of the scholarship funds I got to learn a skill, right? And the skill was primarily learning how to repair laptop, and beyond just learning the the repair in an the practical way. I also even was taking CompTIA A+ exam preparations and all that. So, which is learning the way some of the systems were built on campus. So after that, which I was able to even do some work on campus, repair laptops, and set up a business. I think it's called Skyward Infotech on Facebook. I still checked a couple of years ago, right? So that was really something that helped me to fix that finance challenges on campus, right? And I was really grateful to God for the opportunities and some people that also were really instrumental to getting that done. I think the second challenge I would also say was staying focused consistently. And when I mean focus, I didn't really have a moment where I went AWire significantly, but in terms of allowing some of the issues that I was going through then to affect my study mode, right? It really affected me because, in fact, for some times I was on first class, and I tend not to assimilate, even though I read for long hours, right? So sometimes I allowed, the heaviness of those things to really affect. Yes, challenges, and I think I could have done better because, trust me, there are people that also went to campus, even back first class. Do you understand? That also went through challenges, right? So for me, that challenge I could have done better by becoming more resilient, right? Because I knew I was really resilient. So I came out with a good grade actually when I finished, right? But I could have been more resilient and to be able to resolve that challenge. I think the third challenge, I think those are the two
major challenges. All right. So how did you cope with those challenges, the financial challenge, the challenge of focus? How did you cope with those challenges?
Yes, so I think for finance, it was being diligent, right? If the Bible says, "Says that I'm more diligent in his business, shall stand before kings and not before mean men," right? So the diligence positioned me to attract some opportunities, to attract help. Right? Because that's one of the things I tell young people today. I do a lot of advice and it can be in just unsolicited ways, right? So sometimes when I'm in the office, those cleaners, I just keep talking to them. And one of the things I used to say is positioning yourself for help, right? So if I was diligent, then of course people see that and
this
they will say,
person
okay,
is
this person. And in fact, some of the people that provide scholarship, they always look out for people that are high flyers but indigent students, right? So I found myself in that bracket where, because I was diligent, opportunities came up on board. Total scholarship. I won towards the end of my stay on campus. I won a lot of awards. One of the awards even made the organization to donate a lot of books to my department. At that time, they refurbished the departmental library just because of the effort my performance on the competition, right? So and of course that was really because of God's grace, right? Not just primarily by my effort. And for the staying focused, right, I was able to still skate through with that, right? It's the right community, right? So I was in there are several group discussions. I had friends, it was not I was not a lone ranger. Let me put it that way, right? Where who is just some people are like that. You go to campus and only you read alone, you prepare alone. No. In fact, I was the
connector,
leader of the group discussion, right? For my friends, those friends, we are still together today, right? So the community, the right community, helped me to come back on track when I am overthinking some of the challenges I was going through, influenced by some things before I went to campus, right? So the message from there is that, okay, you need to be in the right community.
You need to be diligent. All right. Yes. So thank you very much. So if I hear you, from your experience, there were challenges. Your university days were not rosy. There were challenges, but you were diligent in those challenges. And because you were diligent, you were able to attract opportunities. And that will lead me to my next questions. What specific opportunities did you have access to while you were on campus? And how can students now have access to such opportunities? Did you do any internship? Did you get any scholarship? How did you get these opportunities? And how can students out there have access to these opportunities?
Yeah, thank you, Mercia. Opportunities you can have access to while on campus. Today, being a global village, it has expanded.
Yes, very true.
My own time, it's not that I'm that old, right? It's not been a lot of years. It's not been more than, I left school, I think, 10 years ago, right? 10, 11 years ago, right? So, but at that time, it was also, there was, the global village was forming, right?
Yes.
So, of course, there were opportunities to apply for scholarships, internship, a lot of competitions, right? And I'm going to be more specific about from my own experience, right? First, for me, it was scholarship. I had scholarship. There was total scholarship then. Some other share scholarship that I applied for, but I didn't get some of them. But and there was a time it was really a very, very difficult period as well. The fellowship I belonged to, there was even a support, right? There was, and I learned a skill. So after I learned the skill, I now became I had the capacity to now, bring in funds for myself.
For yourself.
So, which is one thing that's critical. You don't have to always remain in that position to need help, right? When you are helped, learn to know how to make that,
develop
to catch
yourself
the fish.
and
Do you
replicate.
understand, right? Exactly. So replicate. So for me, I was able to assess the opportunity, and I honed my entrepreneurial skill during an ASU strike that spanned across 6 months, I think, right? So I learned laptops. Then I could repair any laptop in terms of
despite being an accounting student.
I was an accounting student, but I learned Computer A+. I also learned the practicals of fixing laptops. I would pick motherboard, sold, just fix it, right? I even go to Computer Village to get it fixed, right? For one of these issues got me into trouble, motherboard issue at the time, right? But of course, thank God for His grace, it was really a very happy end. So that's one opportunity area. Another opportunity is internship, right? There were several internships that I saw opportunities then. Of course, I didn't scale to some of them, but it built me. One I can remember clearly is the I think is the Bank of America Merrill Lynch. I did the assessment, passed, moved to the first interview phase. I passed online. Then I went to a location. Was it Lagos or Ibadan? I think it was Ibadan. it's a location where in a hotel you do the assessment. I did that. I got the very final stage. It was my friend, in my classmate then, and myself were in the final stage. Then, of course, he scaled through and got the opportunity. But I was happy about that
you
experience.
attempted it.
Yes, the experience now helped me for KPMG when I was about writing my final exam. For KPMG, I applied for that internship, and of course I got that, and that really was like an ignition point for a good career, right? Because for me, I thank God because I've enjoyed His grace so far, right? With some of the opportunities I've had access to, right? So, and that started from what I was doing on campus. So students have to, while you are doing all the, while you're living your triangular life, right?
We're coming to that, sorry.
Yes, okay, we're coming to, okay,
yes.
Let me say. So, so that was that kind of opportunity internship. Okay. And the third one, I think, is volunteering, right? Which is a very, very key part of building your beyond school capacity, right? So I volunteered a lot while on campus, be it in my community fellowship, departmental conferences, and some other general conferences that happen on campus. So I was always trying to give my own bit, right, in the process of getting something done, right, which is a very critical skill for the workplace. All
right, thank you very much. So you shared a lot of things, and I just wanted to point out some things that you have shared. Number one, you talked about how you, despite being an accounting student, you went into repairing laptops and just to make something for yourself. And you mentioned, you said something that really struck me. You said that you should not always be in that position where you need help. You need to also, even as a student, you can find something doing. It doesn't have to be something physical like you were doing. Now, the world has gone digital. A lot of opportunities are online, content creation, social media management, and all of that. Something that would not affect your academics, of course. You can make use of all of those things. Learn a skill, apply the skill. You also talked about opportunities. I'm sure that those opportunities did not come and meet you where you were. You had to do some searching. You had to do some digging. And you also belonged to good communities that brought those opportunities your way. Now, I want to talk about life after school. How did the skills that you built while on campus, how did they affect life after school, the life you're living now? Was tertiary institution a preparation ground for life after school?
Yeah, thank you. The campus world, it's a place where you are working towards a particular goal, right? You're working towards a particular vision, if I use that word, right? So, and there's a set of activities that are put in place to make you work towards the goal, right? And in the process of doing that, you are picking up some skills. It can be adaptability, curiosity, critical thinking, resilience. It could be ability to bounce back. Several skill sets you pick while doing that diligently, right? So I've gone through the school, right? And of course, I would say the school also passed through me in some sense, right? And those skills were picked, and they are the skill sets that are really needed in the workplace. So I would say going to a school, and I attended Obafemi University, is a school where discipline is instilled in you. It's a place where you know the student for excellence, doggedness, curiosity, boldness, several qualities that you can pick from. So taking that into the corporate world, I think it's also influenced some of the opportunities I've had to get. And I would always make reference to the fact that I worked, KPMG was the first place I worked in, and of course, right, as an intern. The internship period were just for, the internship period was, please move down. The internship period was just for like 2 to 3 months, I think, right, before I went to finish up my final exam, then went back to the corporate world, right, in 2016. But the moment was really a time where those principles I mentioned that were instilled in students in school came to fore, and I used that to learn a lot, right? during the internship. In fact, some of the connections I made
While on
during
campus.
that during the internship at
Okay,
KPMG,
internship opportunity.
they are still it was as if we had a longer time. I discovered that when I went back to KPMG again, right? Those people were not even there, but
Again.
it was as if we had a long time to work together. But because of those things, helped me, right, to fit into the workplace. And it's central to fitting is curiosity, right? Respect for the individual, openness, and all those things, right? Which now helped to in building a successful career, right? So, and that was learned, I would say, in some ways on campus. Now, there are several other things because in the corporate world, when you start the year, there are KPIs. Take that as the GPA that you want to achieve, right? Yes. And of course, in the corporate world, you have to be delivering on a month-on-month basis. Those things that you towards the KPI, right? So if you were on campus and
writing exams, writing tests.
Exactly. So if you were not doing those things well, and of course you don't have a turnaround, right? And you get to the corporate world, you see yourself
struggling.
Thank you very much. That's the word, and those things will come to fore again, right? So I think it's quite important for students to know that there's a ripple effect of the actions that they take while on campus. Because if they don't perfect some of these skill sets, and they are soft skill sets, trust me. In fact, I think because I'm doing an MIT program on innovative leadership, and I just remember a point there around one of the critical skills that help you to move ahead in your career. It's not even technical skill. I think the percentage from that, I can't remember the body that did the research, but in that MIT class, we were told that about 70, I think over 70% of what you need to succeed in career is what you need. They are soft skills, right? Soft skills. So these soft skills are built while on campus, right? So if you miss that opportunity, trust me, there will always be an opportunity. But sometimes you will now start late. Right?
Yes, so what you should have
because I don't want to say, okay, then. So someone listening to me now that maybe had missed it on campus. No, there's an opportunity to retrace back to a point where you are now positioned for that successful career. But when you have an opportunity to hear it while you're in school,
why not?
It's an early time to start building soft skills. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So you've spoken about the opportunities that you took advantage of, which are now helping in your career. You've also spoken about soft skills that you learned while on campus, which are now helping you in your career. And that's just to say to someone out there that, especially if you are watching me and you are still on campus, you're about to enter into campus, you should know that life on campus is beyond the CHM 101, is beyond the philosophy 102, is beyond the biology, or beyond all of that which you are learning. While on campus, you are making contact with people, you are building connections, you are learning a lot of things, your skills are being sharpened. Ability to manage your time on campus, there's 2 months. You need to learn this, you need to cover this number of points, you need to cover this number of materials. If you're able to do that while on campus, then you would not struggle to meet up with your KPIs, just like you have mentioned, because you already knew how to live a structured life. And that is why we should know that beyond becoming a doctor, beyond becoming an accountant, we are building life skills on campus. So on a final note, if you were to talk to a student every day of your life, what is that thing that you would always tell them? Just like as we round up this session.
Student on campus?
Yes, a student on campus.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of things to say, right? But now in the subject of conversation to a single principle is they need to find purpose while on campus. And I would explain what I mean by that, in the sense that beyond just the need to want to be successful in the corporate world, there must be a key principle that guide your life, right, towards making impact, right? Because yes, you do internship, you do all those things, right? But what exactly are you made for, right? And an example of that is that for me, I'm passionate about youth development, right? And what does that mean? It's helping youth with to resolve challenges, providing a structure such that they are able. And I've been doing that right from when I was in secondary school. In fact, I think I was the president of the fellowship when I was in secondary school, and I was also the senior prefect boy of my school then, right? So I usually had opportunities to speak to youth, going into the university, being in the fellowship. I also joined a community, right, where, doing same and, seeing many people get meaning out of life, right? Then transitioning to beyond campus as well, I formed a community where youths have access to opportunities, and beyond just getting the opportunities, there are periods where I have calls, with them, some people that really need that advice, towards getting meaning. Trust me, some people really, I used to have some of those messages then of testimonials of what people got out of that. So if while you're on campus, you have clarity on that thing that you want to do, that will bring joy to you, even though, there's that thing when you get out of campus and you are still waiting to get job and you don't have it yet. But because there's a purpose, you will still be joyful now, because especially when you know that the right opportunity will come. People that are having great jobs today, right? Some of them, there were times when they didn't even have the opportunity, but some of them will even, when they reflect back, they will know they are still making impact, because there's something different from just wanting to come and work and make money. So while on campus, if you can start doing that kind of thing before, and the question to ask yourself is, what exactly can I do to make the world a better place? First, and what exactly can I do to make other people better? Yeah, that's the word.
How can I impact everyone that comes in contact
when you keep
with me?
asking that question, you'll be seeing some things that are built in you, because there is no one that does not have that built up of wanting to make the world a better place. So as you keep reflecting to find that, you build that. Yeah, yes, of course, while on campus, you're also looking at for some of the opportunities I mentioned earlier on, right? So that you can balance up, right? Because when you are doing, you are pursuing your passion, you also need to fuel what will help you to pursue your passion. That's why it's good for you to also build a successful career. So I will summarize all I've said into students finding meaning and purpose while on campus, which is key. Then, of course, the reason why you're on campus, you face it. But when I say reason why you're on campus, face it, does not mean the course you are studying, right? If you that course, make sure you come out with flying color. But if you recognize that, no, this is not what I want to practice, beyond school, start building the necessary skills as well that will help you to gain access to such opportunities when you've left, when you leave university, rather. But make sure you come out, because what people are looking for is, first of all, some of the jobs is, what did you finish with? Is it 2-1? All those first class. So you need to do well in that, but think beyond the title of the course you are studying and find meaning and purpose. I think that's what I will summarize it to.
All right, thank you so much. This has really been an exciting episode, and I know that everyone listening or watching this has learned one or two. First, you are going into the campus journey, and you know that you are going in, you are focused. Regardless of where you are at the moment, even if you are not yet focused, this is just like a pointer to say you can still pick the pieces of your life together. Just like you said, opportunities, even if you missed it while on campus, you might even be watching it and you've already missed it. You can still pick the pieces of your life together and still start to make a meaning out of life. Start to build that resilience. Start to build that diligence. Start to build, start to make a meaning out of your life. And just like you have said, purpose, knowing that it's not just about the grade you are trying to get on campus, knowing that it's not just about what you are trying to study, but also how to impact everyone that comes in contact with you, such that everyone that comes in contact with you gets better. Everyone that comes in contact with you would always remember that, okay, yes, I came in contact with this person, I got this, my life became better, my life improved, I got access to more opportunities, and my life just simply became better. Thank you, Mr. John. So this has really been an exciting episode. Thank you for coming to speak and inspire our young ones out there.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you very much, everyone. My name is Gift Adedoyin, and I remain your host of the Flourishing Students Podcast. Thank you.